I am waiting on some viewers. If you are just tuning in to this video, this is Orchids for Dummies. I am Fal Pal Darrell, and we are doing a live Q&A about my orchids in horticulture, a video I just posted. And so if anyone has any questions, please let me know, and I will get right to them. So waiting on a few people. This is very welcome, baby. Welcome to Orchids for Dummies. This is, out of the blue. Still no time was given, but I definitely wanted my Fal Pals to have an opportunity to ask any questions that they have about their growing experience indoors. Okay, we're growing indoors in an apartment. Each and every time I open up that door, I can't even open up the windows anymore to let any fresh air in here. Thank you. So Fal Pal Crystal, which is my sister, okay, and Orchids, she is here. So we are ready to get this thing on and popping. I will not be before you long unless, those questions really do come in. Like I said, this is Orchids for Dummies, okay? A place where you can get your life, a place that talks about more. We talk about more, okay, than orchids. That has been my sentiment since the beginning of this channel. So during the end of this video, after I get finished with my live Q&A, I actually had to respond to a couple of viewers that was saying that I was becoming too preachy, mama. They said I was preaching to the girls, so I want to be able to address them at the end of this video. But for right now, let's focus on all of the incredible people that is here right now, such as Fal Pal Crystal, such as Fal Pal Heath, such as Fal Pal Danielle, such as Fal Pal Roxanne, such as Fal Pal Leanne, such as Fal Pal Anna, such as Fal Pal Cameron, such as Fal Pal Joy, such as Fal Pal Vanessa. Yes, honey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, my name is Fal Pal Darrell. If you are new to this channel, please like this video and subscribe because, baby, I promise you, there is not another one out there like me. Okay, okay, okay. So let's take a quick look at some of the orchids that was featured in that last video about orchids in horticulture, okay? That video was taken almost 2 months ago. So some of the orchids from that video that I said that I would convert over to a bark setup, I have not done that. So I want to take a look-see at those orchids because to my knowledge, all of my orchids is getting success since I have now started to fertilize them. And as I said in the last video, that before I deliver a video to you, because this channel has always said that the proof is in the pudding, okay? So mama is not telling you what it look like, what it sound like, what it feel like. Mama is telling you what she has documented, okay? What she has documentation for, okay? That's what mama is doing. So this is one of those orchids, and the last video, it had a secondary spike, and it started to eat that spike, and I said, well, that is an indication to me that it needs some fertilization. So I have been fertilizing them very, very lightly because I want to see, or I had wanted, because this has been over 6 months now, I have actually showed my Fal Pals in my Facebook group Fal Pal how I am fertilizing my orchids in horticulture. But for you guys on YouTube that does not have that information from me, I have been doing it very lightly to make sure that I don't have an adverse effect, making sure that it was not producing black mold and white mold. Hush! Hush that noise! Lord, let's go and get these hamsters out the way. They have been getting on my nerves so bad. They have been getting on my nerves so bad. Then they had some more babies Sunday. I did not get a chance to tell my Phal pals in my Facebook group, but girl, they had some more babies. It's so many of them now, and they all sleep together. So I don't know I don't know who baby is who. I don't know, but they will make that noise. My daughter Havela, she told me, get down, get down, get down. She told me that they were just playing. But, you know, for someone that likes peace and serenity as myself, girl, being at home with everything turned off and nothing but the sounds of these aquariums, to hear these hamsters down here making up all that noise, oh, no ma'am, no ma'am. So, like I said, I have a lot of new subscribers. I don't typically explain myself, but I just want to let you guys know who I am if you don't know who I am. We are, you know, overcoming depression, anxiety, bipolarism, all of those panic attacks. We are overcoming those things by the method of growing orchids and growing plants indoors, as it is a therapy for mental awareness. Okay, so it's helping us mentally, spiritually, and psychologically. That is what the growing experience has done for me. My mom, growing up, my mom has a green thumb, and she's always had a green thumb. And you know, her house had plants, big plants, little plants, but especially big plants everywhere. I'm talking about, you go in my mom's home, you think you're in a zoo, in a jungle, I don't know. And so as a child growing up, I didn't understand then why she does what she does. At that time, I'm like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. If I have company and all of these plants in here, they're going to think something wrong with us. Because her house, or our home, was one of the only few places, I think I had only known one other place that had so many plants in their living room. So I was like, oh, this is, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to be like that. And so now here I am, 35 years old, with a husband and a daughter, raising a family. And, you know, growing my Phalaenopsis orchid, which was one of my first plants, has really taught me patience. Okay, it has taught me a routine. It has helped me get out of those negative thoughts, because I'm always looking at them, observing, trying to get to know them, if you will. And it just really has been very therapeutic to me. Now, me coming from not the most positive place, okay, I'm African American and Puerto Rican. So coming from those backgrounds, you know, where religion was really, you know, forced upon us, if you will, I had some reservations, okay? I had some reservations. So it's like, oh, no, 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 no. I would never have all of these plants and do all of this growing stuff. And let me just show you now. I had very negative people in my family to say very negative things to me about my growing experience, saying, Will, we don't want to talk to you about any orchids, and good for you that orchids is helping you mentally. And then my mom even said something to me recently, such as, one of our relatives is acting crazy, and they dealing with that bipolar, and they just flipping out, like you do. And it's been so many years since I have had to take medication, and most of this stems from my grandmother. I'm a grandmother's baby. My mom, she is only 14 years older than me, and I do believe she did her very best, and I'm very appreciative of her. So with that being said, my grandmother is the one that raised me and still values into me, okay? Because my mom, if you're 14 years old, you don't know anything about integrity. You don't know anything about that, okay? You don't know anything about putting pride into your work. You can't teach a child those things when you are a child. So much appreciation to my grandmother that really put that inside of me. And so all of this is really just a tributary to her, because before she passed, I did have the blessing of being able to take care of her. Now, at the time, I was working, two part-time jobs. I had a bigger family at the time. I was recently married. And I had a lot of things ticking and talking at that time, but I made sure to take care of my grandmother. Now, before my grandmother got sick with cancer, I was like, I can't take care of nothing, I can't do it. I'm a selfish person. I'm just gonna, make sure I look good, make sure I'm dressed in the best of things. And if I get a plant or if I get a pet, then that is money that I'm not going to be able to spend on me, that I'm going to have to spend on something else. And that's just not what I'm trying to do. So now, being 35 years old in a stable relationship full of love, even though my grandmother has left me, but my grandmother left me, with knowing that I am to provide for my family. And I am to each one teach one. When you hear me say each one teach one, that's because that is what my grandmother told me. She said, when you learn something, you teach it. Now, when I came into the growing experience of orchids, when I looked on YouTube, when I looked on Google, I did not see anyone that looked like me or talked like me. Now, if we are all talking about the same orchids and growing them in the same way, then what would make you watch me versus watching the other person? Well, it has to be representation. There are people that look like me and talk like me and act like me that wants to understand how to grow orchids, okay? Without being, commercial after commercial, and I'm just showing you birds out my window and stuff like that. Okay? So, that's how Orchids for Dummies had begun. Now, if you are new to growing orchids, you might be like, well, what is horticulture? Well, let me tell you, when I was that young man living with my mother at the time, I would always see her do something like this, which is putting plants in water. Girl, every window in our house, all in the bathroom. Girl, my mama got glass jars with plants everywhere. Then, in what she was doing, what I saw her doing, because I never helped her with her plants, and I never noticed that besides, asking her husband or sometimes myself just to help lift a heavy plant. For instance, this is two plants that my mom had given me. These are going to be on the small size. Girl, let me tell you, my husband, he picks up all the heavy stuff in my house, and I guess I get that from my mom. But girl, no ma'am, this is like 100 pounds. No. Girl, no ma'am. So, girl, who finna do? Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So yes, you will see people with, glass jars with plants all around their home, because what they do is they take a little cutting, especially, if the plant is probably overgrown the pot, or if the plant is probably sick, they'll take a little cutting from like down there and they'll put it in another pot. Now, I wish my flash was able to work on YouTube, but it's not. But as I was watering this plant yesterday, I believe the house plant people call these pups. Oh, can you see it? right there. I believe houseplant people call this pups. And they would take that and put it in water. And ultimately, what it is called is propagation. They're getting one plant from, they're getting two plants from one. It's the gift that keeps on giving, if you will. And that is what made me make the decision to get a Phalaenopsis orchid, because it was Mother's Day and my mom had always told me that she loved orchids. But if you don't grow orchids, then you don't know what an orchid is. You just know those big flowers or those big when I initially approached it, I thought that was an African orchid, because you hear words or terms such as African violets. Now, if you don't grow, if you don't have plants, you don't know nothing about nothing. So I had thought that moth orchids, Phalaenopsis orchids, were actually African orchids. And so I had that mistaken, but my mom had told me that those were her favorite plants, but she would never get one because she said that they were too needy and she was afraid to kill it. Now that I have been growing for over 2 years, and I am the first channel, girl, probably still the only channel, I don't know, but I advocate for people to, all this love that we have for our plants and all this love that we have for our pets and stuff. Let's get outside, okay? And let's love on our people, on our neighbors. And you can start off by doing that by joining your local orchid society, okay? Not all orchid societies are affiliated with the American Orchid Society, in whom I hope that is one of your only sources to get true information about growing Phalaenopsis, because I promise you that the American Orchid Society, they will point you in the right direction, because there are so many different ways to grow Phalaenopsis orchids. It can be confusing to someone who don't know how to grow at all, because you're saying to yourself, okay, well, I have this new Phalaenopsis orchid. The flowers have faded. Do I repot this Phalaenopsis orchid because I see dead roots in the pot? Because I done overwatered the orchid. Okay, so that's what you're saying to yourself after you get your first orchid. But then you go on YouTube and you just found out from one person's video that your orchid is dead because you have been overwatering it. As that's what even the American Orchid Society says. It says that we all lose our Phalaenopsis orchids due to overwatering. So wouldn't it be a double entendre for me to have a Phalaenopsis orchid growing in water? How you gonna do that when I done killed my orchid over some overwatering? You not finna do that. Well, let me tell you this, honey. The reason why they say that the Phalaenopsis orchid is such a hardy plant and is so good for new beginners is because they can withstand some of the stupid stuff that we do to them. Such as you have people growing them in your... Look. This is phase one. This is a pothos growing in my aquarium, okay? Shout out to the aquarium community. Thank you for all of the love and support that you give to my channel. God bless you all. Hey, I'm not going to tell y'all no more. I'm busy. Don't be making all that noise while I'm making videos and stuff. But yes, girl, boo-boo kitty, go look it up. You can have your Phalaenopsis orchid growing in your aquarium. And what is so crazy is they would actually have the leaves upside down, girl. They have it upside down and have the roots growing out. So, baby, when I tell you, When you're looking on YouTube for a video to understand how to grow a Phalaenopsis orchid, girl, you should be looking for some entertainment because these people are just telling you what they had found out for themselves or what they'd heard. Okay? So Mama is the first channel to start off saying, this is my growing experience since day one. I'm going to look at all these YouTube videos because everybody was saying, well, they saying do this and they saying do that. I don't know what to do. Then we got to sit through 2-hour videos just to get information on how to grow orchids. I said, okay, I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to take care of that. So that's how Orchids for Dummies came. Now, understanding that when I came into the game, girl, all the young people was into the house plant community. They was not trying to hear about no boring orchids. Orchids is boring. Orchids don't do nothing for me. I want to get me an alocasia because the alocasia is that's the god in the plant community. That's what the girls is looking for. They're looking for allocations. Girl, they want the price of an orchid for this. But guess what? She has purple. And if you know me, then you know, baby, I love me some purple. I love me some purple. So I'm going to digress, and I'm going to get back to my mom because it's important for me to talk about my mom as it is a prelude to my next video, which is going to be another testament on exactly what I'm saying right now, that the only way for you to truly understand how to grow a Phalaenopsis orchid is by watching it. Not doing too much because you're looking on YouTube and this person say do this. One video's talking about set it on fire. Another video talking about putting honey on it. Another video talking about putting cinnamon all on it and slicing and dicing and herbs and spices. Slicing and dicing and herbs and spices. And we're not even going to get to talking about, girl, the peroxides, the Phazan 2020, the bleach, the boiling. We're not going to talk about all this stuff that these people is doing just to try to get you to watch their video when all they got to do is have a personality and entertain. That's all you got to do. God, honey, girl, I'm talking about girl, they talking about, girl, the lady showing us birds at our window and we just trying to understand how to grow orchids in water. So I said, girl, let me see what the tea is. And I documented all of it. And I mean, sometimes you got to read those words. Sometimes you got to read those words. And Mama was the first one to do the research on the fertilizer. They talking about use a 20-20-20. For what? What is a 20-20-20? So Mama going around asking everybody, what is urea? Do you use urea? Nobody want to talk. This is the first channel that said YouTube is a social media platform. These people would get mad if you say, I love you. So, girl, Mama just got to do it her way. So if you want to watch a video and learn how to talk about orchids and understand that as a person, as a nation, as a race, as a society, that, the golden rule, we ought to do unto others as we would have them do unto ourselves and love our neighbors, okay? Love our neighbors. If we are sitting here growing all of these beautiful plants and all these beautiful orchids, and then after we get the rhythm of how to grow them, then we get into the mindset of trying to save them. Because when we save our orchids, when we save our plants, what that makes us feel is such a feeling of, a connection to something that is higher to you, for the same reason that a woman would give birth and a man would never understand the experience of carrying a life inside of you, that your womb is able to produce a president, able to produce a king, able to produce a queen. That is what we're talking about. So even knowing that it takes patience, look, that's basically what I'm trying to say. So after you get into the rhythm of, oh, I could raise a child. Oh, I could save an orchid. Oh, I got a green thumb. Well, let's take it a step further. Let's take it a step further. Okay, you could save a plant. Can you save a soul? You could save a plant. Can you save a soul? Can you go outdoors and talk to the prostitute? Can you go outdoors and talk to the thief, the robbers, or the homeless men? And could you forgive them? Could you love them? Could you bless them? And could you get them to grow into something that is going to be a benefit to our society? Because ultimately, overall, if we want change, if we are trying to invoke change, it starts with in the mirror. After in the mirror, what can it transfer to someone else? Back to my grandmother saying, each one teach one. You're not really growing anything if you can't grow that way. If you're only able to do it and you're not able to teach someone else the way, that takes away from the whole growing experience. In our community, even on Facebook, not in my group, you will have people that's just trying to understand what to do. And they ask a group, should I repot my Phalaenopsis orchid? And instead of being welcomed into a hobby that will grow with you for the rest of your life and possibly make you a better individual, instead of appreciating that we now have someone else in our community that is able to speak a universal language, such as being a parent. Anytime you are in a uncomfortable environment or you're around someone that you don't know, it's always easy to start talking about our children. Okay, I will talk about Havela all day. Well, let me tell you what Havela did today. Okay, and shout out to everyone that appreciated the time spent in doing her hair with the last Bible study video that we had. So my mom, I'm releasing a video tomorrow showing you how she has changed the game. My mom has 100% success growing her orchids. My mom's growing experience has been documented since day one as well. Okay, remember when I went to her house, and this is one of the main things that orchid growers will experience in their orchid experience. You have a Phalaenopsis orchid and you are just now repotting it, and instead of making sure that that it is above the media, such as this, you overpot it. And because especially with sphagnum moss, when you overpot it, you're putting water and moisture in places that it should not be. And that is going to cause rot, mold, and all of that fungus nets, all of that foolishness. So now my mom has 100 complete success growing her orchids. She does not watch Orchids for Dummies. She does not watch Miss Orchid Girl. Okay, my mama, she's one of those people that I've been growing plants all my life. You're not about to tell me that I can't grow a Phalaenopsis orchid due to the fact that I have a natural green thumb. I have on video footage when I went to my mom's house in August of this year. She has her orchid. You will see it in the video. She has her orchid. Oh, Lord. She has her orchid sitting in a cup of water. I don't have anything to be able to show you, but this is the type of pot that it is in. So, for instance, this is the perfect example. So one of her orchids is still potted in its original pot, just as this. And she has another pot filled with water from her aquarium. And girl, she filled it up and leaves it. and doesn't come back until all of the water is gone. Girl, I told my mom, I said, girl, these orchids are going to die. I said, I don't want to tell you what to do because just like you can't tell people how to raise their kids, you can't tell people how to grow their orchids. Let them experience for themselves. That is one of the joys of this experience, to be able to say, well, let me spend today mounting my orchid for the very first time. Let me spend today repotting my orchid for the very first time. And if you have any Untidiums, honey, mama is going to let you know that it takes about 6 hours to get an Untidium through roots, to get them. Good, look. That stuff takes a minute, like a good minute. But when you are doing it, and especially if you are putting pride into your work, when that baby gets to blooming for you, these are all of my, well, not all of them, but these are majority of my orchids that spiked for me this winter season. And while I don't have a bloom tour to show you, this is the best growing season I have had. I also want to just take a moment to notate to you guys that you are watching a channel or you're talking to someone that is growing indoors. I cannot express to you enough how growing indoors, especially in a apartment, or if you don't even have a grow room, okay, how complicated it is to maintain some of the basic things that your Phalaenopsis will need to strive in your care, such as providing adequate sunlight. And that is really, so I guess I need to do a video on that. That is really one of the like main reasons why I have so many blooms this year. Normally around this time, my Phalaenopsis orchids will go dormant. Now, this is a whole different video, but briefly, because I know that we're in the season. My orchids would go dormant because they did not receive adequate sunlight during the summer to be able to provide the energy to produce a stalk and to flower. Or if they did flower, it was not 7 blooms or more, it was only a few blooms. This is the first year that I chose to take it a step farther and get the grow lights. And these grow lights, I can't say everything in my house is in bloom. Majority of my Phalaenopsis orchids are. I only have maybe 1 or 2 at the most that's in my care that is dormant. So as far as keeping them from being dormant, I understand that you want to have a swing in temperature, but understand, based upon proof is in the pudding, my mom not having a swing of temperature in her home, and not only does both of her Phalaenopsis orchids have spikes, this woman has done what I have not even done yet, which is a double spike. And all she is doing is giving them, she's not even fertilizing them. So when I tell you, when I release that video tomorrow, it's really going to change the game. Because, I appeal to an audience that has a family, that has stuff going on, that does not have time to, just sit on YouTube and be like, ooh, let me look at your orchids today. Okay, I don't do that because I don't have that time. I have to go take my daughter to school, then I got to take my husband to work, then I got to come home, cook, clean, get everything ready for them to get back home, then I got to go pick my daughter up from school, then help her with her homework, then go pick my husband up from work, then come back home. Ain't nobody got time for it. And I can't be apologetic for it. I can only be me, because when I am free and able to just be me and let all of that stuff go, then I'm able to appeal to the people that are dependent on me, that are coming to me and saying, well, I need it. I need you. I need you to be the one to tell me. I need for you to make me laugh today. And I need for you to tell me how you got such a big smile on your face and why your daughter is one of the most obedient children in the school and your husband is so loving and kind and let you spend all of his money. How did you do it? Okay, I'm here to tell you. I'm here to teach the way. So I'm really excited to be able to show that to you. So with that being said, when we're growing our orchids in water culture, it's really just for the experience. And I would really suggest doing at least one of your orchids in this method if you are a new beginner, as you have nothing to separate you from what is truly going on. Because the same way that you could get mold inside of your orchids that is in water culture, the same thing can happen inside of media. So when you are able to look and see what is the source, you see that ooey and gooey down there? Now you have to look real good. You see it is it's not even a lot. Pale Diana, you know, because you are the, and if you stay tuned, I'll show you your babies real quick. Because you know I talked about your orchids in the last video. Here we go. You see that ooey and gooey on that root? That ooey and gooey, that can be ooey and gooey inside of media, especially if you're growing in a enclosed container such as this. Eunice, this is actually what my Untitled looks like today. As I said in that, hold on, I have it zoomed in. As I said in that video that it was 2 months ago. So, this is actually what she looks like now. And this is definitely in part to the grow lights. Because before the grow lights, this is what was going on. This is what was going on in my care. And so after the grow lights, and I mean, I'm here to tell you that if you do choose to get grow lights, your light bill is going to go up at least $100. So keep that in mind, okay? The other channels, they are not telling you that. And that's why I say I'm the people's channel, because, honey, I understand having a family is all about trying to have a budget. Because, honey, who gonna send your child to school? Okay, you don't know who the president is going to be. And speaking of purple, Diana, I'm about to show you orchids in one split second. But it's caught my eye because it's a lot of things that you would hear in the orchid community that is to be said, and it's just not true. This is just a regular Phalaenopsis orchid. And as you can see, the under leaves is, you know, it only has a tinge of purple, but now the newer leaves are completely purple. And if you are like me, honey, this is life. Yes, ma'am, you better give it to me. And you're giving me a spike. And this is given to me by Pale Brian, which is, you know, Pale Brian and Pale Diana was one of the first people to bless me with orchids and, you know, just have such kind words to say to me. And let me just put it out there that these are white people. And, you know, like I said, I was the first African American doing this. So it was very courageous and very beautiful and, you know, very honest of them to welcome me into this community when so many others did not. So, Pale Diana, these are your babies, and I took your advice. And remember, they were in the last video when I said that these orchids are accustomed to water culture because they are siblings, or not siblings, but they are, you know, kikis or baby plants from orchids that was originally grown in the method of water culture. Now, I took your advice. You said I was able to move them. And hold on, let me sit it down, put it in the light. You told me that I was able to put them, you know, you said move them because I was not going to move them. But you said I could move them, so I moved them. So you know what we said. They was going to be upset And I mean, they were upset, but they did not, flip out like my Sogos. My Sogos, honey, I moved them from the window, and the next day, 5 leaves fell off. So that's when I tell you that these Phalaenopsis orchids are territorial, and that really means a lot to them. So when you have them somewhere and they are giving you that new growth, that is letting you know they are comfortable where they are, and if you give them time, they will make it work due to whatever circumstances you have, such as living in a indoor apartment. So she's doing pretty good, and she has a tinge of the purple as well. This leaf right here was grown in my care, so I do believe she lost a leaf. The root system is still fabulous. She's just now starting to get new roots. These are all of the old roots. She did not lose any of the original roots that you sent her with, and she's. I mean, she's a happy camper. She's a happy camper because she came from a good place. She came from a good place. So I been giving them a little tough love based upon what you said, because they should have bloomed based upon what you said. So because they did not bloom, the one that you saw is the one that I'm still, she has a soft spot in my heart, but the other one is down here on punishment. These are my orchids on punishment because, well, this one is down here because, girl, I don't know what to do with it. I tried to have an Untidium in different environments or, different locations. Like this is the purple grow light versus up there is just a work light. It's not even a grow light, it's a work light. And you can see the Untidium up there, and that's because so I will be able to educate you guys on, from my experience, what light works the best for a Untidium orchid growing indoors. Okay, so honey girl, the proof is in the pudding. So these are my orchids on punishment because they should have bloomed and they did not. And this one now is growing a new leaf and new roots. And this one, I'm just mad at her. She was given to me by Fal Pal Danielle, and this is my mini orchid with the most leaves. She keeps 11 leaves on her at all times, and you can see she has such a fabulous root system. And so, girl, why is no blooms? So she's in time out. You're down here because I don't want to see you. You making me mad. And this one, when I put it down here, it gave me a new leaf. I think that this light down here makes you grow new leaves, and the one up above makes you grow, flower spikes. I don't know. I don't know. We still waiting on the data. But she's a happy camper. They're still doing well. They're still doing well. So, to sum it up, growing your orchids in water culture is really all about the experience. I really do suggest that new growers get the opportunity to experience it because it shows you the growing patterns of the Phalaenopsis orchids. It is also what I found out to be the best method, and this is the proof is in the pudding, not just what it looked like and what it sound like, but it's the best method on trying to revive a Phalaenopsis orchid with no roots, okay, versus putting it in bark and putting it in moss, all of the different ways that it is. Real quickly, this is another orchid that I told you that you don't want to wait till the last minute. Well, honey, I end up waiting till the last minute, and she is now starting to figure it out. Um, you can see she had a setback leaf. You can see that purple, okay, because of the high concentration of light, I suppose. But some of the leaves are the ones that are like wrinkled. They never did get unwrinkled, and I placed her in brighter light, and the leaves they thickened up a little bit. And as I said, she's growing new roots and growing new leaves, so she will be okay. And I really had to do the work with the stem. Each and every time that I water, I rinse off the roots like Val Pal Diana taught me. And if anything that's mushy, if I'm able to just slide it off, without slicing and dicing and herbs and spices, then I will do that, okay? Until I'm able to have it sitting in water where it's going to be, very clean, very pure water. If those floppy leaves stay green and toots start to grow, it can become um, tur- turgid Turgid again. I don't understand Fab Pal, but I thank you for the incredible information. So anyway, yeah, she's doing just fine now. Everybody that is was in that last video that I said that I that would not adjust to growing in water, they are still in water because, honey, I told you I'm an emotional grower. I'm a lazy grower. I'm trying to do better. Let me let you see the only bloom in my house, honey. This the only bloom. And this your grocery store fail, and she's the only bloom, and she's producing a new bud. She just keep making blooms one at a time, but she's growing new roots and new leaves while she is still in that pot. This is that seedling that I told you was not getting the hang of it. And as you can see, Mama is just now starting to figure it out. A new leaf is growing and plenty of new roots. I am able to keep the water clean. I told you I had used that Fertilizing 20. I used it just one time. And so she's doing just fine. And, growing indoors, especially in waterculture, and you see all of this water on the window, this condensation, that's because it's very cold here in Alabama. So if you want to know the temperature of the water, will it affect the growing habits? I would say yes, in a sense that it lets the Phalaenopsis orchid know what season it is in versus, okay, it's going to just automatically give it white and snow mode, because that's not my experience. Now, this is that other seedling that I was really concerned about, and she is now growing new roots. I think she has a new leaf coming. We will look and see. I don't know. I could be wrong. Yep, I don't see anything, but oh, hold on. No, I don't think that's a new leaf. I don't know in any effect. She is growing new roots, and that's because I have been fertilizing them as well for the first time. And her water normally it gets ooey and gooey for no reason. You see it, it's already starting that ooey and gooey, but the roots are just fine. And it has this slimy type of stuff to it. And these roots, I know they look bad, but they are still viable. And so the new roots, it's not that many, and they're growing out of the water. So I don't want to cut off anything that is still viable, even though it doesn't look pretty. Okay. So it's working. Everybody is working. This is one of the pots that I make. Like I said, honey, hit me up, orchids, the number 4 dummies at gmail.com if you want me to make you a pot, okay? I will send you some pictures, give you a couple of examples of what the pots look like, okay? They are, good, cute pots, and you're able to also hang them. Okay, you're able to hang them. If you know how to fix this Phalaenopsis spike, please let me know. These are my unruly spikes. This is another one. This is, my Phalaenopsis Maria in a hanging basket. That's a whole different video. But, honey, I can't train her flower spike. I can't train it. Look. So, honey, Diana, what do you do about those type of flower spikes? I'm about to let you guys go after I get through talking about because we already here, and it's been a minute since I made a video. Somebody asked me, honey, do you still grow orchids? Girl, yes, honey. And mama is doing the best she's ever done. And that's because, honey, I'm doing spirit work. I'm trying to get my soul right so I can have the motivation to get up in the morning and to water these orchids, to take care of them, to not shut down, to not be defeated, to not walk around with a negative attitude, to not be able to love on these plants but not love on my neighbors. Yes, my growing experience have definitely improved because my character has improved. And so I said that to say this, that all of this is a growing experience in life in general. Even your profession at work. Some of us, most of us, half of us, I don't know, have professions where even if you have a license or a certification, each and every year you have to go and get, recertified. You have to go and do special trainings, things to grow, help you grow in your field of work. That is the same thing as you as a person. You want to make sure that you're being the best version of yourself that you can be, because not only will it benefit society, but it benefits you with, being able to go to bed and resting. Being able to go to bed and know that everything is going to work out for your good. Now, to those that said that I was coming off preaching, like I said, baby mama is not without sin. I'm a gay man, so how can I come to you and be preaching? I'm just telling you from my growing experience, from my very first video up until now, why all of this change, what is this change that's come upon me, and why I am going to be so successful, and that I'm trying to each one teach one. I'm trying to each one teach one. Honey, how can I be preaching at you when I said in the first video, which was just a few weeks ago, that this is my first time picking up my Bible all year? And I mean, I supposed to be sold out for Jesus. So I was just coming from a place of humility to let you know that if you are in a dark situation, especially, when we was dealing with all that racial tension and, all of the foolishness from the election and, then this the first year with Corona, they talking about people dying and stuff, and we couldn't go anywhere. A lot of us spent that time to soul search. And, I've been talking about exercising. I've been talking about eating right. All of this is about wellness. It's about wellness, because like Mother RuPaul says, how can you love somebody if you can't love yourself? How the hell you gonna love somebody and you can't love some? You know what he say. And so that is basically what I'm saying, that in order for me to stop being shut down and, full of anxiety and being an emotional grower, how can I enlarge my territory is growing that love and that joy that I have on the inside. And that love and joy that I have is from Jesus. It's the joy of the Lord is my strength. And it's been working for me. That's all I'm trying to say, honey. I'm not trying to dictate to you who you should believe in, because I even say it in different terms. If you don't want to believe in something bigger than you, you need to at least believe in yourself. I talk about how to build your confidence. I talk about a lot of things. But as far as for me and my house, I will not be ashamed, because, honey, it's a lot of people, go around, oh, I'm a Christian, oh, I love Jesus, or, I'm this, I'm a good person, and all this and that, but then they scared to say Jesus, they scared to talk about God, they scared to say anything. Girl, all my videos, when you come in, is gospel music, because I want you to be happy. I want you to know it's going to be okay. I mean, half of us got orchids because we going through a divorce. And going through a divorce, that's a real trying time. So and I could tell you because I got there. And I could tell you other YouTubers got there as well, but you would get to a place when growing doesn't do it for you. Growing don't work for you no more. You need something more than, you just watering your orchids. And so that's what the People's Channel is doing. I'm giving you the full spectrum, okay? I'm trying to make sure that I got you mind, body, and soul, that we having a good time, You believe in whatever you believe in. I'm American. I support your right to believe in whatever you believe in. I'm not, if I'm going to be preaching about something, honey, it's going to be me preaching about my relationship with my husband. Go back just last year. I was talking about me and my husband about to get divorced. I said, honey, my husband out here cheating on me. Honey, I tell all of it because I'm not ashamed. Because, honey, girl, if I acknowledge him in all of my ways, he will give me the desires of my heart. Okay? So that's all I'm doing. So, baby, yes, mama's still making orchid videos. Honey, you make sure that you like and you watch every single one of them. And if you see me putting a nice scripture on YouTube, being one of the only people that's doing it, okay, I'm hoping the girls tag along with that one. Because it's people that's out there hurting. It's people out there that are alone. Okay? And baby, Fab Pal Darrell is here to let you know, honey, you are not alone. You're not alone. I know how you feel. I'd have told y'all about me being molested. I'd have told y'all about me contemplating and planning and plotting how to kill myself. I know why you grow orchids. That's called provision. That's called discernment. The same person that I'm trying to tell you about is who gave me this. That's who telling me that next year and moving forward is going to be a no negativity zone. You're not going to be able to go and say nothing negative because people are going to attack you because people don't want to hear nothing negative. We want to hear something positive. So instead, you should have said, I really appreciate you trying to inspire others to increase their faith. But could you please release a video at teaching me how to keep my orchids in water culture healthy? I would have been able to receive that more, I would have been able to receive that versus it felt as if it was an attack upon my beliefs. Because my belief system will not be wearied or waived. Because as I said in my first videos, honey, my husband is rich. And I'm not full of shame. I don't have shame and guilt and doubt and all that stuff on me. I have joy. Okay? I have peace. I have tranquility. I can say that somebody who ain't never grown nothing in his life. I'm growing the orchid that everybody else said was the hardest orchid to grow. Honey, now everybody want to grow a Phalaenopsis orchid and teach the kids about Phalaenopsis orchid. Because Fab Pal Darrell put it out there in the universe that, girl, it's easy. All you got to do is leave it alone. Stop slicing and dicing. Ask yourself, why am I slicing and dicing on this orchid? Why am I boiling this orchid? Why am I, at home on Sunday by myself watering my orchid? When you ask yourself those questions, that is how you will be able to elevate to the next level of who you are. So I wish you all well. Tomorrow is Bible study, okay, between the hours of 5 and 7 p.m. Central Time. We're reading Proverbs chapter 6. It's talking about, being in a situation such as this. When you tell a friend that you're going to do something for them that you can't really do it. And I could tell you, this is who I am. All my life, I got nothing to talk about but Jesus. Because that's all I know. I'm a black gay man. Okay, the world ain't got nothing for me but negativity. If it was not for Jesus coming into my heart and whispering to me when I was on that beach in Mobile planning how to kill myself, to where my mom and grandmother would still have insurance money because I have death insurance. But how selfish of it would be for me to put my mom and grandmother into a big financial bind because life has got too tough for me. God was on that beach with me and he whispered, just give it time. That's what he said. Just give it time. He didn't have no full conversation with me. He just said, just give it time. And when you grow these orchids, the first thing they're going to teach you is patience, because you're going to look at other people's orchids and see that they're blooming and look at yours and wonder why it's not blooming. It's not your season. It's not their season. Understand the seasons. Understand a seed. Understand hard work. Understanding back in the day, if you did not go out and plant a harvest, you and your family was not going to eat. So God is telling me, get up, you sluggard. Not only will I give you, my traditional 3 to 5 videos about orchids a week, but I'm still going to have Monday motivation, which I've been doing since day one. Because I want to motivate you and let you know, honey, if somebody here living in the projects, black, gay man, okay, with a child, okay, if I'm able to find peace in my heart, you can do it too. Each one, teach one. That's what it's all about. So, baby, if I touch your heart, if I touch your spirit, like this video, and find somebody that you don't even like, and find out how you can get to, pray for them or bless them. Do something nice for them. Go get you a gallon of gas and go fill up their gas tank. You don't even know, you don't even like them. But when you do stuff like that, whether it be, the law of karma, whether it be, angels, whether it be God, girl, good stuff is going to come to you, because that's a level of maturity most people are not going to ever get to, because that's a type of love most people don't have in their heart, because they're wearing all type of mask, all type of mascara and lashes, because we want to look good for the other person instead of letting our light shine. Let your light shine. Until next time.